Good afternoon, everyone. How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody is well and enjoying their day today. Thank you for attending today's training. My name is Curtis Brandon. Thank you for everyone, all of our veterans who are in attendance. Thank you for your service, and just thank you for the small businesses who assist us each and every day with our purchases and everything that you do. So thank you. We appreciate that. My name is Curtis Brandon, and I'm the federal lead for the outreach portfolio for the Strategic Outreach and Communications Office of VA Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization. For your awareness, this training is being recorded. A copy of this presentation will be provided to you along with a sample as well. The recording will be provided to you within a few days, and it also will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, likely tomorrow sometime, as soon as it's vetted and making sure that everything goes well. So you can take a look at the recording once it's complete. A few more housekeeping notes. All questions that you have for me, please put them in the Q&A box. The chat function is there for you to chat, be able to network with each other, any ideas that you may have, any updates that you may have that want to respond to any of your colleagues or anything that's on the chat. Please feel free to put them there. But any questions that you may have, please put them in the Q&A. I plan on my colleagues, Miss Wendy Bray and Dr. Nicole Hines, as well as our new director, Miss Anna Ehrman, to possibly join us later on today. And they will help with the questions if they are available. But if not, I'll handle the questions and we'll go from there. But thanks once again for everybody attending, and let us get started. If you're unable to hear during the presentation, please go back out of the presentation and come back in. Cancel all of the applications that you may have and come back in. See a few people standing there are able to hear. But just please go back out and come back in. You should be able to hear and let us know. And thank you. So now let's get started. And our colleagues that did join, hey Wendy and hey Anna, my new director,
Curtis.
and Wendy,
Good
our
afternoon, everyone.
education program specialist as well. She that I introduced earlier today. So they did join us, and they will be assisting as well, with any of the questions. So once again, please put them in the Q&A box and not the chat box function. Thank you. So now let's get started with our training on how to create an effective capability statement. The VA's mission statement is very clear: to care for him who shall have borne the battle for his widow and his orphan. It's simply stated, we are obligated not to only care for and support the veteran, but their loved ones as well. Here in OSDBU, our mission statement directly undergirds this thought through the prioritization of enabling veterans to gain access to economic opportunities through our policies and our procedures and our programs. Further, the strategic outreach and communication statement directly ties into the VA's 5 core values, and that the veterans and small businesses have earned our respect. So we strive to do everything with integrity and excellence, and we are committed to advocacy for small businesses through awareness of VA small business programs and resources. Now to our agenda. So here's what we're going to cover today. We're going to really examine the capability statement and how you can maximize it for your business. We will begin with the definition of what it is, the components needed for a comprehensive capability statement, and we will discuss the need for its important business tool. Finally, we will summarize the information presented, then a Q&A session will commence, and the survey will be launched for your participation at the end. By the end of this session, you will be able to understand what the capability statement is and the need for a comprehensive statement that will leverage you better as a small business seeking opportunities. Recognize the different types of capabilities statements used to respond to various federal contracts that are available and what is most appropriate for your business needs. Lesson 1, definition of the capability statement. So I'm sure you have heard a lot of mention of the capability statement. We can infer it means a few things, but what does it really mean to and for your business? So by definition, a capability statement is a concise one-page document of your business competencies. Think of it as your business resume or your chance to provide a snapshot of specific information about your business design to compel potential customers to do business with you. So like an elevator speech, your capability statement should be concise, highlighting your company's business capabilities to any business or government agency that would buy your products and your services. Your capability statement is a living document that would change depending on the targeted agency. In essence, as your business changes, it should as well. When you're developing your capability statement, make sure you have a master copy that you can tailor at any time to any government sector, project, or source of SAR notice as needed. You want to save the document with your company's name. When you distribute your capability statement, it should be distributed as a PDF. It shouldn't be distributed in Word or a PowerPoint if you are sending it via the computer. A PDF file is safer, and some federal agencies block Word and publisher documents. You do have limited space on your capability statement. You want to make sure you're stressing your core competencies, your set-aside eligibility, and your past performance. You want to ensure your logo is present as well as any other branding elements for recognition. Be free of long paragraphs, using short sentences and bulleted lists for quick visual scanning. You want to make sure you are tailoring your capability statement to who or what the request is for. Targeting your audience through stressful marketing is done by identifying the potential customer through careful market research and telling them why your company is the best choice to do the job. We cannot express enough that your capability statement should not be too long. Lengthy capability statement would cause the reader to lose interest. It should not be too vague, as every sentence should have a purpose and contain pertinent information. For example, including information that sounds impressive but has no real substance will make your company look unqualified. And that's what we call putting in the bluff and not filling in with fluff. Putting in the fluff and not filling in with the meat and potatoes. Okay, you want to make sure you're filling in the meat and potatoes of your company and putting all that good information about your small business regarding all the good things that you have been doing. Okay, you do not want to sell yourself short. I say that all the time. You know, we see capability statements at time. You may have, one highlighted bullet of core competencies, and just say something maybe we have over 25 years experience. The other company that you may be competing against may have 25 years of experience as well. But you want to elaborate. And once again, don't sell yourself short, making sure that you are putting yourself out there, putting your company out there, and the needs of your company. I mean, like I said, once again, once all that good work that you guys have been doing. And lastly, do not embellish. You want to be careful of overselling your capabilities. You could be disqualified for the current bid and damage your reputation for future businesses. All information should be true and accurate. Remember, no capability statement would be a one-size-fits-all. So it's important to have a master copy, making sure, once again, that you're telling your capability statement. As things change, like your business, your capability statement will change. So for example, I think last year, the authoritative number, the UEI number, was changed to be the authoritative number instead of the DUNS number with the federal government. So make sure that if you want to do business with the federal government, you have a UEI number on there. Now, some of you all may want to do business with state or local government. They may still recognize the DUNS number. If that's the case, you'll be able to go back on and put your DUNS number on there as well and replace the UEI or whatever is needed. But it's always important to have that master copy so you can tailor it at any time. Okay. You want to ensure that your capability statement is current and it's inviting to the reader, specifically the procurement decision maker. The purpose of the capability statement is to provide specific information that will convince potential customers to do business with your business. It's basically a business resume. It should be concise and related to the needs of the agency you are targeting. It is recommended that you develop more than one version of your capability statement. I'll explain later in the presentation why. I have included a screenshot of a sample capability statement on the screen right now. Please note that your business capability statement does not have to be in that format, but it does need to include these highlighted characteristics: core competencies, past performance, differentiators, company data, and pertinent codes. Excuse me. A capability statement should always identify the company's case code as well. This code identifies that you are registered in the system for awards management. You also want your past work descriptions to match up with the contracting needs of the agency which you are marketing to. So as we look at this sample capability statement, and you will receive a copy of this, and we do have sample capability statements on our website as well. If somebody, Wendy, if you could please put that in the chat as a resource, I appreciate it. As you're looking at the capability statement as a sample, it does have capability statement at the top. And, you know, we are here to make recommendations, okay? With this being a one pager, if you want to fill this, you know, one page up, and it can be front and back, that's still considered a one pager. Capability statements, sometimes we see them, and some samples we see outside of, you know, this sample as well as this sample has capability statement at the top. Now, if you have, you know, information you want to portray to, you know, the procurement decision maker, whoever you want to send your capability statement to, once again, you have limited space. But you can utilize some of the spaces by taking some stuff off. You don't necessarily have to have capability statement on your capability statement. You know, you handing this out at the industry day, or if you're handing this out to a PDM or sending it to, you know, somebody you want to do business with. 9 times out of 10, they know that it's an actual capability statement. How many times do you receive an actual resume from somebody you're looking to hire, and it says business resume on it? So it's just a thought, you know, if you want to leave capability statement on there, if you actually want to take it off for more space. Okay.
Hi, Curtis. We actually have a few questions that came in.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. You want to do it now or after I finish this section? I'm almost finished this last one.
Okay, we can respond to it afterwards.
All right, thank you. Yeah, it's the last slide. As with a resume, the quality of the content is more important than the quality of the design. In sum, a clean, easy to read design is your best bet in terms of aesthetics. It is generally best to stick with one highly readable font at the most. Adding color is fine, but limit color to usage to not have a busy look. That is very important. Think about who the reader may be of your capability statement. They may have issues with their eyes. They may be colorblind. You never know. You don't want to be looked over just because, you know, you felt like, hey, this is a wonderful capability statement. I have all these colors and it's jumping around. And it looks good. It may look good to you, but just be mindful of the actual reader, because it will get passed along. I can't read this. I'm not going to call you, ask you to send me another one. So just be mindful of your color, you know, and what you put in your capability statement as well, as far as the pictures and the quality of it. Making sure that it's actually looking well, looking good. Companies usually place their logo and contact information at the top of the capability statement. It is recommended you list your logo or certification once atop as well. When I mean listing it as once, if you have a logo, place your logo at the top or place your contact information and that stuff at the top. You don't have to duplicate the information within your capability statement. If you're an SDVOSB and you have that logo, you don't have to go down in the bottom and say, I'm a service disabled veteran owned small business and be repeating those things throughout your capability statement. Okay. You have already identified that you're an SDVOSB. Okay. So one time should be enough, as well as your contact information as well. Something else I'm gonna say. Back to when I was talking about the tailoring your capability statement earlier. Okay, if you have certification that's over there with the SBA now, they may change the logo. And I think they will change the logo of the SDVOSBs, making sure that you are following up so you can change those on your capability statement. Okay, you can change your logos. That's why it's important for you to still have a master copy so you can make those changes as they come. To reiterate, a one-page statement is best, and it's not uncommon for many companies will create a two-page document, but only do so if necessary. But be sure you are not rambling on or providing duplicative information. All right, we could go to questions, Wendy. We're good now.
Okay, the first one says, are you allowed to talk about competencies of major stakeholders of the company and their priorities in the industry?
Repeat it one more time.
Are you allowed,
Please.
I'm sorry, are you allowed to talk about the competencies of the major stakeholders of the company and their priorities in the industry?
If you referring to that as your actual business, yes.
And then the next question, as a startup SDVOSB, is it appropriate to use personal experience as a substitute for company past performance while pursuing first contracts?
You can use your personal experience, but just be mindful. Your personal experience does not equate to you running a business or starting your own business. You starting your own business, and what you have done is what you have done. But if it doesn't relate or it's not relating to your actual business, those are two different things. So, I may bring my experience over here, being in the logistics field. I just started this business, but it's different than me managing payroll, managing, employees, and things of that nature. All that entails on managing a small business. But in order to be able to get that past performance experience, please look into partnering, teaming, joint ventures, and things of that nature to be able to build that past performance and experience up. And we will talk about that in a couple of next sections.
And the last question, any chance we can get a Word document of the sample PDF so we could use the formatting?
Wendy, do we have that in Word? I can't remember. Or is it a PDF?
No, we don't have a copy of it in Word. What you can do is online using any of the web sources that you use, excuse me, the name is escaping me right now, but you can convert a PDF to a Word document. I would recommend that you do that so that you can be able to basically use the formatting, because one of the things that, and I can't recall, I'm sorry, Curtis, if you mention it towards the end of this presentation, but we want the businesses, we want you guys to not focus necessarily on the template, the way or the layout of the capability statement, especially if you're right now, like for those businesses that have not even started developing it, we want you to make sure that you are including the information like Curtis covered a few minutes ago, which is that essential information, not having any fluff in your capability statement. So basically building up the information that is going to be what those procurement decision makers are looking for on your business resume. So I know that Curtis is going to go into a more in-depth talk about those 5 key characteristics that we always cover. So I'm not going to mention it now, but that's what I want you to be able to, or I recommend that you focus on, is ensuring that you're including those 5 key characteristics more so than trying to get the layout and the formatting of it. I'm sorry about that, Curtis. I'll turn it back to you.
No, you fine. You know, we always do this. We do it back and forth all the time. That's good. Good information, Wendy. Thank you. I see somebody there posting the Q&A about the new SBA logo for SDVOSBs. If you could put that in the chat so everybody can have access to it, I would appreciate it.
And also to that, I'm not sure. I know with VA, they actually, once you have been approved, would send out the logo when they were sending out. So I'm not sure if SBA is doing the same thing. But you want to make sure that when you're adding it on your capability statement, you have been like approved from the Small Business Administration. I'm sorry, I keep saying approved. That your certification has been approved through the Small Business Administration before adding that onto your capability statement, because you definitely don't want to add that on there and then send it out while you're bidding on solicitations, and then come to find out your application is still pending.
Right. I think somebody mentioned that about online capability statements that they are locked, and I know some of them I see that you have to actually pay for, but you'll get the sample for free. You can make the samples yourself. It's not, no format is put it this way, it doesn't have to look like the ones that are actual online that they want you to actually pay for. You can create an effective capability statement, a wonderful one, just taking your time and creating it, just looking over a template. And it doesn't, like I said, once again, it doesn't have to be like the template we'll provide you. So you will get a copy, go from there. There are 3 different types of capability statement. Specifically, there are general, targeted, and sources sought. This underscores the importance of a master copy to tailor at any time. So now let's compare the differences between the 3 types of statements, beginning with the general capability statement. This statement can be sent to any agency or prime contractor. It has limited uses, so it isn't going to be as effective as a targeted capability statement when reaching out to specific federal agencies or prime contractors. The targeted capability statement is the most effective capability statement you can craft. As such, it is also the most time-consuming. This statement would be different for just about every opportunity you're trying to procure because it would speak specifically to the opportunity, that agency, or that prime contractor. The goal using this capability statement is to present your business as capable, effective, professional, and successful at doing the work you're trying to win. Tailoring your capability statement specifically to the agency or prime contractor you're attempting to win work from is an excellent way to display how different your company is from your competitors. Lastly, the sources sought capability statement is used to address a specific solicitation. You will want to include keywords and terms from the solicitation in the capability statement and ensure the required NAICS codes match what the federal government is seeking when soliciting a capability statement and a sources sought. Notice is an answer of the notice itself. It shall outline exactly what information is needed and in what format. It is very important that you do not send your normal capability statement even as a secondary attachment, as it may hinder your ability to market to the agency or decision maker because it implies you did not follow specific instructions. Any questions after this section, Wendy?
Yes, Curtis. I saw something for Bob. He said he got certified by SBA, and then SBA sent the SBA templates to him.
Awesome.
Also, there is a question that says credentials. Is it appropriate to list certificates of certain individuals, i.e., we have a CISSP certified, PhD grad, and so on? I guess they're saying, is it appropriate to list those on a business capability, business resume or capability statement?
Only if the solicitation that you're targeting is requiring or asking for someone to have a PhD, someone to have a CISSIP, or any of those certifications. Other than that, it's probably useful. No need for you to put those things on your capability statement because it's going to take up space. Once again, you want to focus on your company, and making sure that you're stressing the core competencies of your company. We have seen logos on past performances, just logos that say, hey, this is who we'll work with. But you do have to understand if a PDM gets that, what does that mean? So now you're looking for, I need to call you so you can explain to me what this logo actually means. And do be careful and mindful if you're putting logos from other federal agencies or businesses on your capability statement. To make sure that it's authorized for you to actually put those things on your capability statement. Okay, so just be careful.
And I want to add to that question too, Curtis. Remember, your capability statement is your business resume. So all of those skills that make up of those employees, yourself and whomever else, whatever their title is in your company, those skills and services make that up. But usually when it comes down to those specific certifications, like for example, a PhD grad, or you said a specific certification that is assigned to an individual, they're asking you that during the solicitation. And so really you will be discussing that when you are developing your proposal and you're responding to them, more so than including that information on your business capability statement.
So thank you.
And then we have one more. Is it okay to do one more question or a few more questions? So we do have a
few. Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. The next one is, my company has no government contract experience. However, we are several recruiters within a one company seeking government contracts. The company CEO is a female disabled veteran. How does our company qualify for contracts? How do we break into the government contract industry? So I'll say, that's a lot of information that you're requesting.
Send us an email.
So let's start off with your business. Although the CEO is a female disabled veteran, question is your business a socioeconomic classification? Are you certified as a service disabled veteran on small business? Is it certified as a service disabled veteran on small business? Also, is it certified as a woman-owned small business? As far as government contracting, there are certain things with different agencies, specifically with the Department of Veteran Affairs. It would depend on your business certifications, your business services. There are other factors that are involved. For example, with our hierarchy, and I would recommend reviewing our trainings, which are on our YouTube channel. And once I finish speaking, I'll post that link in the chat. Preparing to do business with the Department of Veteran Affairs. One of the things that we are focusing on, kind of going off of capability statements right now, is market research. Businesses conducting their market research and knowing about their buyer, identifying those buyers. So as the CEO is a service disabled veteran on small business, knowing that information, there is a possibility for your business, for example, to be able to compete, right? There are other different factors involved, but be able to compete for possible set-asides for solicitations with the Department of Veteran Affairs, just having that service disabled veteran owned status. And again, like I stated, that's not just solely, you of course would have to be able to successfully compete and then complete the contract, be able to complete the services that they're requesting, excuse me. So in order to break into government and contract industry, to answer that last question, I would recommend that you start off with speaking with your procurement tech. I'm sorry, keep forgetting the name change. Apex Accelerator Advisor. They're formerly the PTAC. They are your advisors. They will be able to assist you in basically expanding if you don't already have a business plan. Some of the things I've noticed that businesses don't have a business plan. Being able to identify where do your business need to go next, because that really is a question that's usually answered when in your business plan of, okay, we're starting here. This is where we're going to, whichever agencies we're going to work with, and so forth and so on. And like I stated, there are certain things, as far as doing business with Department of Veteran Affairs is not the same as doing business with DOD. So definitely working with your Apex Accelerator advisors, and then attending these informational sessions or small business training, knowing about or learning how to do business with that specific agency will help I believe will help your business out a lot. Are we okay to go for another question?
Sure, absolutely. Somebody asked me to repost the last slide, so that's why I went back. So there's the last slide for reposting.
Where do I find our owner's certification or verified status? That depends, Bo. Can you expand on or explain further, what do you mean by find it? Do they already have it and you just need a copy of it? So yeah, if you can just clarify that question so we can be able to assist you. And then you mentioned having a 2-page capability statement. I'll direct this one to you, Curtis. What content is recommended for page 2?
It all depends. You can elaborate on your past performance. If you have a lot of past performance, you can elaborate depending on what business you're in. Let's say that you're doing something in construction. You want to do some before and after pictures. You can put those on there. It just depends on what area you're in and what you're looking to do. Same thing as far as somewhere like janitorial work or of that nature. You want to do before and after pictures. You can put those pictures on there as well.
And to piggyback off of what you said, Curtis, it really, on that second page, if it is needed, is going to be your past performance. A lot of businesses, when we review your capability statement, it's not really saying much about the services that you provide. Sometimes businesses like to just use a logo of the DOD, or if they had, experience working with federal agencies, they just use those logos. Like for SBA or so forth and so on. But you got to remember, like Curtis said, who, what, when, where, how. If your business resume is speaking for you, it's communicating to that potential buyer that this is what you provide to the table. What exactly is that logo telling them? I mean, you might have it listed in that section that says past performance, but it's not telling them about the services that you were able to provide. And, basically that capability statement is just a summary of you speaking to them, telling them, like Curtis said, the 30-second elevator speech. Hey, this is what we have done in the past. This is how we've helped them, our previous clients out. This is what we've done on these projects, and these projects were here because, we had to complete these projects because whatever the issue was, and this is how we succeeded on those. I would say, think about the CPARs, the information that's included in those CPARs. When other procurement decision makers are reviewing the CPARs, that information that's included in there is telling them, especially when you're exceeding, it's telling them, okay, these are the type of services they provide. They were wonderful in doing X, Y, Z. That's kind of what you want to make sure that you are including on your capability statement, especially if your business does not have any CPARs.
Thank you.
And then I have another question that says, we have split our capes to a capes and an extended cape and experience supplement. Is that super annoying, or should we really jam it into one page front and back? Do KOs often print capes still for binders?
Now, if you think about it, you go to an industry there and you handing out your capability statement, and you send down. Are you going to give them 3 or 4 pages of pieces of paper that's stapled, or you would rather give them 1 page, to actually view? So once again, you can have multiple capability statements. You have your general capability statement, and once again, you can do front and back. You can tailor it if you have a tailored one, or you can have, a specific capability statement as well. So you have options without providing, 3 to 4 pages, to actually take with you or to actually dish out. Now, I'm just talking about on your general capability statement. If you're answering to a solicitation, or you'll receive a RFI for request for information, It could possibly be more than 2 to 3 pages of your capability statement. So those are the differences.
Thank you, Curtis. And this will be our last question for now. Would you perhaps have sample formats of these different type of capability statements? Okay, so yes, I actually posted in the chat and I will repost it in the chat for you. So I'll turn it back over to you, Curtis.
All right, thank you, Wendy. Let's talk about the 5 components of your capability statement. Core competencies. You will need to explain your core competencies and highlight your unique value proposition. Again, because this is only a snapshot of important information needed. It should not, nor it is expected to speak about everything that your business is able to do. You can use bullet points and short statements to convey information to your targeted agency's specific needs. Core competencies are a bundle of skills and technology that enable your firm to provide a particular benefit to your customer, to create a barrier of entry for competitors, and to be used as leverage to enter new markets. When you're building your core competencies, analyze your operations and determine what part of your business can deliver exceptional results within a short time frame. Core competencies can be acquired from partnering or licensing. And if you gain core competencies by partnering and licensing, then you need to integrate those capabilities to create an advantage. I think I've seen a question about somebody was asking, could they use their past performance as, I think it was a sub or JV. Yes, you can use those in your past performance, but you just need to make sure you're listing it. If you're a subcontractor, you need to list that I was a sub on this actual project when you listen it as your past performance. Your past performance should list past customers from whom you have done similar work. It should show a benefit to the customer and provide contact references. Pictures are worth 1,000 words and save space if relevant. If past projects do not relate to the targeted agency, do not list them. You want to possibly include size, scope, complexity, and when, and it's one way for a PDM to quickly identify if your company can perform the actual job. Differentiators are just that. What makes your company unique or different from competitors in responding to the needs of the client? Explain the needs of the client and why your firm is better positioned than others to respond to these needs. You should list unique factors and benefits of your products or services that set you apart from your competition. So how is your business best suited for the needs of the targeted agency? A clear statement that relates to the specific needs of the agency can help the customer understand why they should choose your firm. Include 1 or 2 sentences of your company's description. You can include the number of employees and capacity if you have any. Also list your UEI/DUNS, depending on what solicitation you're going for, whether it be federal or state. Make sure you're doing your research, your case codes, your NAICS codes, and any set-aside eligibility that your business holds. Make sure your website is constantly updated and customer focused as well. You can include additional information about your company in your website that either expands or mirrors your capability statement. So for example, your contact information. What you have on your capability statement should be the same contact information that you have on your website to be able to get in contact with you. The person, whoever your POC may be, whether it's you or whoever is speaking, okay? I mean, not speaking, but whoever you want to get in contact with. As far as your contact information, I just spoke a little bit about that. The contact information should mirror your website. Identify the geographical locations for which your company operates. As simple as it sounds, ensure to include contact information such as physical address um, of where you're doing business, your POC details, office telephone, fax if you have one, email address, etc. Again, that is recommended that your contact information be listed at the top and only listed once on your capability statement. All right, to put this picture in perspective, let's examine this visual illustration. The adage says a picture is worth 1,000 words. I'm gonna give everybody 15 seconds to analyze this picture. Aside from the obvious, do you see any differences? Please put your answer in the chat box. Mhm. Mhm. Good responses. A lot of people saying one woman. Not really caught and paid attention to that, but you're right. Corporate attire, good. Tote bag, one briefcase. Okay, got it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now let's take a look at the next picture. Now let's compare this illustration. Now what do you see? And those are some good responses. And you're correct. It is one woman I see. Well, that's what we can portray. I can't see the top. But from the bottom, it do look like one woman. That's right. The color suit stands out. So make sure somebody said the Joker. Just make sure that you being different. Make sure you're different from your competitors. Do your research. Okay. If it's worth doing your research, making sure that you are being different than everyone else. You know, in this industry, you have, same small business trying to do the same things you are doing. So, in order for you to take advantage, do your research once again and making sure that you're different than your competitors somehow, some way, because we are different. So we compared the illustration. We do not have to examine hard to conclude that same people in the picture and one of them is in red. Okay. And to successfully do this, talk to past clients to find what distinguishes your products or services from your competitors. Now, I'm going to provide you with 7 questions that should be addressed if you are starting your capability statement. Okay. Make sure you know the who, what, when, and where. If you're starting it, make sure you're answering these questions. Sit back, think about it. If it makes sense to you, hey, this one needs to go in my capability statement. How can I put these in my capability statement? What makes sense? Okay. Number 1, what distinguishes your products or services from your competition? Number 2, how does your team create an advantage over your competitors? Number 3, what other factors help them pick your company over the competition? Number 4, how is your company best suited for the needs of this agency? 5, what is it about your services that make you stand out from the rest? 6, what is it about your staff that give you the advantage over your competitors? 7, you don't have to write anything down. The recording will come to you. And this actual slide deck as well. So you will have a chance for me to, you'll get the questions. Why are your products better solutions than the others that are available? If you're left answering the following 4 W's, who, what, where, or when, please know your information likely didn't translate well, and the decision maker will be left with the same questions, making it hard to submit a clear recommendation for your company over one of your competitors. Many companies fail to take this crucial step, and they wonder why they're missing out on contracts. Let's see if we can, I'm gonna post them in the chat. I just posted them in the chat for everyone. Sorry, I do look kind of bunched up. Apologize. All right, now, once you have redeveloped your capability statement, make sure you have enough copies that you can distribute. Update your capability statement regularly to include current products, services, and other corporate information. Like anything else, have someone proofread your capability statement and provide feedback before sharing it with your potential customers. This is where your opportunity to address grammatical, messaging, and other errors. Ensure enough information is provided as you would an elevator speech. That is important. Please make sure that someone is proofreading your work or you proofreading. 2 to 3 eyes can be fine. We review capability statements and we have seen grammatical errors. We have seen, you know, um, profanity on them without, it being intentional. We all have, typing or whatever system you may be using that may put a word, in your capability statement or autocorrect, anything. But just be careful about the grammar and making sure that, any errors and making sure that when they're reading it, they can say back to you what your actual company does. Okay, remember, you know what your company does, okay, because you're running the business. When somebody else reading it, can they tell you actually, hey, what do I do? Okay. Remember, an excellent written capability statement will open doors to contracting opportunities in the federal government and set you apart from your competitors. It is worth the time and effort to make sure it's done right. In summary, a well-written capability statement is an important tool to promote your business. If it does not inform existing and potential customers about your business capabilities by way of who you are, what you sell, or what core competencies you bring to the table, it may result in a missed opportunity. This information you receive today will aid you in creating a powerful capability statement and open doors to contract opportunities. This tool is the key to building relationships with important decision makers and government contracting by providing them with a concise description of the goods and services your business can provide. A sample capability statement will be sent to you along with this recording, as I promised. So please use the format as an example to create your capability statement. It doesn't have to look exactly like that. I know I repeated that, but I'm just saying that again to say it doesn't have to look exactly like the capability sample that you see. Okay. Now here for a bonus. If you feel you want us, the strategic outreach and communications team, to review your capability statement um, in this live interactive working group. So you will be in a group of your peers, and everybody will, we will make recommendations as far as your capability statement. And, we also have a follow-up as well. If you make the recommendations, want to send it back to us, just so we can review it. Okay. But the whole goal is, like a cohort to work with everyone. Do a little bit of networking as well to making sure we're all on the same page, going from great to excellence. Okay, that's what we try to make your capability statement go from if you already created one. So please, if you would like to attend one of these workshops, please put CS in the chat box. All right. Once we would send out an invitation for everybody that asks, to attend the workshop, and we'll go from there. Here's our contact information for my office. Whenever time permits, please visit our social media sites and VA OSDBU as well. That's our email address should you feel the need to email us, and our help desk phone number as well. Next week, please join us for our webinar on procurement readiness overview. Got a bunch of great information to distribute out to you if you haven't seen it. But the capability statement, creating one, is the process of you being procurement ready. And if you look at the procurement readiness overview, you have a process of understanding about the procurement process. And possibly you see a capability statement will be one of those things talked about as well. So again, I want to thank everybody for attending. Please be sure to complete the survey once you conclude this webinar. It's important for us to know if we did great, and make sure that we're using this as part of our continuous service improvement effort. Okay, we're here to advocate for you and make sure that we're providing you with great information. This slide deck will not only conclude the presentation, but it will include resources as well for your reading as well. So I hope everybody has had a wonderful day. And if we have any more questions, please let me know.
Hi, Curtis. Yes, we do have a few more questions. And also I was trying to see if you're able to open up a poll. One of the polls, the question I wanted to ask the participants is, is there any information that they would like to learn? Like, for example, market research, or anything. As we're continuing to develop our education and training program, we can offer this information to them. So if we're not able to open up a poll, I'm going to request those participants that are interested or would like to provide your feedback to put it in the chat. We use this to be able to develop our trainings that we market to the small businesses, to making sure that basically we're filling any gaps that are out there that you feel like knowledge or information you feel like is not being provided, but you really need it to succeed on these contracts. So going back to the questions, is there a site where we can download standard slides for a business plan, capability statement, etc.? I actually posted a link to our OSDBU homepage site that includes, I think it's about 3 sample templates for capability statements. There are other examples of sample capability statements out there using your search engine, free information. As far as business plans go, the Small Business Administration, actually using your search engine, you can just type in SBA business plan. They have some information on their website, as well as SCORE. I think if you type in SCORE and just I'm sorry, not capability statement. I apologize, the question moved. SCORE, SCORE, and business plan, they actually have a template, a really good breakdown on their website of a business plan. That information is free as well. Anything else that you were mentioning included in the etc., if you're not able to basically add it into our the Q&A or the chat today, Curtis, can you go back to our contact information? You can always send us an email to our group mailbox and we'll respond to you. Thank you, Curtis. There is another question. As a general marketing program, do you recommend sending our general capability statement to contracting officers separate from responding to a solicitation? What I would recommend, if you are familiar, for those that are not, VA did go live with VA Pathfinder on the website. Curtis, if you're able to add VA Pathfinder website into the chat, complete that interest form. The interest form is basically your capability statement, which is why we offer the workshops to assist businesses with developing an effective capability statement, so that when you go on there to fill out the interest form, it's really just a copying and pasting of the information. And they will, as we stated, like for example, in past performance, in the interest form, they are asking about that past performance, the more detailed information. So I would, on top of, you know, when you're responding to a solicitation, to go back to your question, I would recommend that instead of sending it to all of the, sending a capability statement, excuse me, to COs separately, you go ahead and just fill out that interest form. There was a question, what is UEI versus the DUNS? So basically, both of them are just identifiers for your business. A federal agency, though, is using UEI. I think that took effect back in April. So if you are doing business, or your projected clients are state and local, we do recommend keeping the DUNS number. But when you are specifically responding to, let's just say, federal solicitations or reaching out to procurement decision makers, for federal agencies, you will make sure that you include the UEI on there. That information can be located on SAM.gov. They actually have a video to show you how you can locate, you know, once you're registered, you've set up your account, how to locate your UEI on there. There's nowhere else that you need to search for that. How to write a proposal for a contract. I recommend that you reach out to your advisor with Apex Accelerator. They do offer some classes or assistance, individual one-on-one assistance with development of a proposal, as well as going back to your small business development centers, part of SBA. Those advisors are, well, I'll say some advisors are able to assist you with that as well as SCORE. That's another resource. We talk about these resources during our trainings, preparing to do business with VA, as well as introduction to VA OSDBU. So those are some great resources for you to work with in developing a proposal. We are a self-certified veteran-owned small business. Is it necessary to get certified through the VA? So there is no more verification with the Department of Veteran Affairs. CVE processing that transferred over to the Small Business Administration. I want to say it took effect the beginning of January. So if you want to do business with VA, I will say that you have to be certified with the Small Business Administration. As it was when VA had the program, you had to be verified. Self-certification, although there are businesses that are awarded contracts that are not SCVOSBs, for you to be VOSB, because you're a veteran-owned small business. If you want to compete with other veteran-owned small businesses, my recommendation would be that your business becomes certified with the Small Business Administration. Could you please add the YouTube link? I'll go ahead and I'll add that again. And I was only checking the Q&A for those individuals. If you posted any questions in the chat, give me a second and I'll go.
I put it in there already, Wendy.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I already put it in there.
And then I'll check the chat to make sure we didn't miss anyone, since we have about 2 minutes left. Okay, Bill said SBA Boots to Business is great for vets. I do recommend, if you have not visited the Small Business Administration website, that you do, because the Small Business Administration website has a lot of great information on there, especially for businesses that are just starting off. Who do I contact? My Apex Accelerator. So that information, Lewis, is located in the chat for how to locate your local advisor with Apex Accelerators. And that's basically the list that comes up. Any person that you identify that is close to you, you can go ahead and reach out to them. And that's who you would connect with. Will we be able to access a copy of the slides? Yes. A copy will be sent out to you within a few days, as well as the recording. Once it's been approved for release, it will be located on our YouTube channel, and you will receive notification of that as well. Ditto, teaming, mentor, protege, best practices info. I'm glad they mentioned that. We have a training coming up. I want to say, if it's not next week, it's actually next week. It's phase 2 of our training concerning partnering. We spoke about joint ventures, teaming agreements, prime subcontracting relationships, and then next week we will be discussing joint ventures and mentor protege. So I recommend that you subscribe to receive notification. Well, registration is already open, but go on our website and basically register for the training if you are interested in that information. The first phase is located on our YouTube channel, and you can go on there to visit that, the YouTube channel, for that information as well. Thank you, Bill, for posting the Pathfinder information, the link to Pathfinder in there. I use a live plan. I use live plan as well. Great platform for business plan and forecast modeling. Thank you for that information, Anna. SBA gave us live plan, worked great. Okay, thank you, Mark, as well. Training, GSA registrations. Okay, so I think a few of those are just comments between the audience members. So I'll turn it back over to you, Curtis.
Awesome. I thank everybody for attending today. It is 2 o'clock. I'm not going to hold you any longer. If all hearts and minds are free, I hope everybody have a wonderful day today. Please don't forget to take the survey at the end of this. Take your time on the survey. Number 1 starts off with strongly disagree. Then it goes to 5 to strongly agree. But if you strongly disagree, you can put that as well. But I'm just saying, sometimes we see strongly agree because people rush through it and they really meant to put strongly agree. Anyway, I hope everybody have a wonderful day and thank you for attending. Until next time.